User feedback goes a long way in building great products. That's what they tell us, right? But do we know how to go about it? Since the approach is different for a new product versus an existing product, let's break it down into before launch and after launch. So before we launch a product, we need to go out and talk to the users, the potential users, I mean. Ideally, we should talk less and let them talk more. It's obvious, but sometimes it doesn't play out like that. However, when we are having these conversations with the users, it is important that we do not seek their opinion. Rather, we try to understand how are they currently solving the problem that we intend to solve with our product, the jobs to be done framework. But while doing that, we need to be sharply focused on the problem and try to avoid taking the conversation to the solutions. Because as human beings, we have this tendency to jump into solution mode. Maybe there's no kick in talking about a problem. Maybe we get a high when we give a solution, or we feel good about ourselves that we solved a problem. And that somewhere comes in the way of trying to get true user feedback. Remember that famous example, faster horses? When the users are telling us that they want faster horses, they're actually telling us three things. These horses are slow. We need to reach sooner. And a way to do that is faster horses. So while we are trying to understand what their problem is, they are implicit about the problem, they are implicit about the desired outcome, and they are explicit about the prescription. So we need to be able to separate the problem, the desired outcome, from the possible prescriptions. It's not that users cannot give solutions. It's just that those prescriptions color us. So the way I like to approach these problems is truth and beliefs. So whenever a user says something, I try to kind of think of it whether it is truth or it is just a belief. So when a user says that, oh, these seats are not comfortable, that's an opinion. It gives us some information, but there is little in it to help us address that problem. But when a user says, and usually this comes after a bit of probing, that my knees touch the seat in front of me, that's a truth. And that is more actionable as opposed to seats are not comfortable or I don't like this. So truths are typically more actionable than beliefs. And beliefs are sometimes manifestations of a truth, but sometimes they're all muddled up also. So if we want clear actionables, we need to seek truth. So that's about before launching a product. Now let's talk about after launching a product. So now the product has been launched. There are some users. Usually the question is what to build next. Often I see people going and asking the users what to build next. Really? I mean, you have been at it for months, if not years, and you don't know what to build next. However, she who has barely used your product and has never given a thought to it will tell you what to build next. Of course she'll tell you. She'll tell you whatever comes to her mind first. And it'll help you to build a backlog for the engineers. But it'll not help you build a great product. So how should we go about it? See, if you have a running product, chances are it is full of bugs. The user experience is broken. The onboarding is all over the place. The funnel is in a mess. So you really don't need to go out and talk to the user to create a long to-do list, which will never get picked up. And God forbid, if it gets picked up or something more critical, then you have created negative value for the organization. So how should we go about it? So let me talk about how we used to do it at Shuttle. Early in our days, we used to get these complaints around bus did not stop, driver did not stop. So we created a metric, DNS, did not stop. How creative. And we gave it to the team, and team fixed it. It took them time, but they fixed it. They did whatever was supposed to be done. Build new processes, tweak the product, play with the incentives and penalties, train the drivers. So they did all that and it got fixed. So once the problem is defined and the metric is agreed upon, then they will do whatever analysis and user feedback they need to take. They will do all that. So just to take this example further, it could be possible that the driver is not stopping. It is also possible that the driver is stopping, but at a slightly different place. It could be possible that the customer is standing at a slightly different place than the designated stop and is not seeing that the bus is stopping. It could be a GPS least count issue. It could be that the customer is not telling the truth because she missed her bus and wants a refund. So it could be various things. And then we can get into RCA, root cause analysis. Like, is it certain drivers where this tendency is more prevalent? Is it certain stops where this is happening? Is it when drivers have a certain phone where this is showing up more? Is it a certain network where this is showing up more? So the moment you start seeing those things, you know where the problem is and you can solve them. sometimes even without needing to talk to the customer. And sometimes you can talk to the customer. So coming back to that question, what to build next? In a running product, sometimes we don't need to go to the user, because user is coming to us using the product and voicing the things that are broken. So we just need to dig into the complaints. Could be on the app store, Play Store, customer care, and try to understand the patterns. What is the frequency of certain complaints? What is the gravity of certain complaints? Like some low probability, high impact events have to be addressed. Also, how much is the user putting in effort to bring that problem to us? If it's just a tap on the app, the commitment is not that much. Versus if it is like the user is taking the pain of calling the customer care, engaging into a long conversations, then it tells something that there's a lot of pain there. So that needs to be addressed first. Or they're sending a long mail or whatever. So the effort that the customer is putting in, the frequency at which we are receiving that kind of a complaint, and the gravity or the impact of that particular issue on the user experience. All those things matter, and accordingly we prioritize. And then we look at it from a development standpoint. How much effort does it take to solve this, and is it the right return on effort, and those kind of things.